Rob, it's been a few years since Bristol and the big final there, but you've got another big one this weekend against Northampton. Your thoughts ahead of it all?
Yeah, just very excited and looking forward to it. And this is what we need to be doing. You know, it's I said to the guys today, you know, sometimes you can forget where you are and you look at it and go, oh, Northampton are a good side. But I've just said to the lads, you know, we don't have to beat Northampton 4 times or whatever to win the trophy. It's about the 80 minutes this weekend. That's what cup finals are about. What we have to do is walk out onto our own pitch here at Sandy Park, put in a big 80-minute performance. We were pretty good last time we played Northampton. We're going to have to be a bit better. And let's make sure we play in a way that we're happy with and potentially gives us the chance to force the win. Because I think that's what you have to do in a final. You have to go out to win it. And the one thing that would disappoint me is if we don't come out to win it and we come out and we're a bit nervous and a bit edgy. So, you know, this week's about enjoying the training week, getting excited. You know, we've put to bed the stuff we had to work on from the Bath game, because although I was obviously delighted with the result and huge parts of the performance, you know, we still definitely made it tough for ourselves at times. But that's kind of what we do at Exeter, and I'm sure that's what we'll do again this weekend. You know, if we do win it, I'm sure it won't be plain sailing by any means. I'm sure we'll take the lead, lose the lead, take the lead, lose the lead, or whatever we tend to do. You know, that's kind of what happens. But no, it's about having a big 80 minutes, and as I say, making the most of those minutes and making sure we come through it just pleased with ourselves and pleased with our endeavours. And I think if we do, you know, it wouldn't surprise me at all for us to see us put in a really big performance.
You've talked about the club making small steps of progress in terms of the LV this year. You've seen that already with just getting to the semi-final and now the final. You must be pleased that, again, you're not going to see the leaps you may have seen of recent years, but you're now seeing that small progress still.
Well, I think what I'm really pleased with is probably for the whole squad. I think we've used 44 players or something like that in the LV Cup period, and I think that's great. And I think it's a great reward for the squad as a whole that, you know, we're here at the final. Yes, we've gone stronger in the last couple of rounds, but every team does. That's kind of what you do as you get to the big stages of things. But it's a great reward for the whole squad. It shows that we've got a group of players who want to be playing in big games at this time of year, and that's probably the most important thing to me, because if you actually look at the fixtures going on now, this is the time of the season when your top Premiership teams are giving up guys to the internationals, or getting ready to play for top 4 games, or getting ready to play in Heineken Cup quarter-finals, or have been involved in the LV Cup finals. You know, the teams that won the LV Cup in the last few years have been the big teams in the Premiership. You know, and I think for me the most satisfying thing is that we've got guys prepared to work so hard at this time of year to be playing so well. You know, the Bath game was a tough fixture. You know, we had to work very hard to win that game of rugby. That was a tough game right to the final whistle, and I think that as I say, more than anything, pleases me that we've got a squad of guys here who want to be in big games now. And that's probably the nicest step forward I've seen by us pushing through to qualify for the final. That we're good at this time of year, and I think we'll get better over the next 3 or 4 weeks as well, because, you know, the conditions are drying up. We do feel naturally more comfortable in these conditions, and I'm expecting a big 6 or 7 weeks from us, really, not just a big one this weekend, but like I say, the next 6 or 7 games for us are massive.
Northampton, you know all about. You, like you say, you've faced them twice already this season. You know the threats they're going to pose, even without their bigger name players. Yeah,
I mean, listen, they're a very, very good side, and they've played a lot of good rugby this season. I mean, I'll be honest, I've been very impressed with them. I mean, right from day one. I mean, nobody got hurt by them more than we did in that first day of the season, and I think you know, they look just very comfortable with how they're playing. They're comfortable with each other. They're enjoying what they do. You know, that's the mark of a good side, when you look at the players and they're enjoying what they're doing. But we're like that as well. You know, when things go our way, you know, we're a good side, and I think we've probably had we're in a bit of a false place at the moment, just purely based on a run of fixtures that, you know, we didn't play badly in, and if anything, they were some of our big performances of the season. But when you go through and you go a loss by 1 point to Northampton late in the game, you know, lost a drop goal away at Wasps, you know, very late in the game losing to Bath. You know, you start a couple of late losses to Toulon. You know, you could get carried away and go, well, you're not actually playing that badly. And I think we've been quite comfortable with that. But at the same time, what we have done as particularly as a coaching staff, is spent some time going, well, right, we can carry on saying we're performing really well, we must be doing most things right because we're so close to these good sides, and be happy with it, or say, well, what are the steps we need to take to force these narrow losses into wins? And that's very much how we've looked at it as a coaching team, to actually not so much use things like the LV Cup final as a stepping stone, but let's use those 6 kind of tight losses as the stepping stone. And that's what we've talked about the players, is, you know, we're going to talk to you about what it's going to take to turn those 6 losses into wins. Not, you know, is it great to be in an LV final? This is about enjoying it. This is about enjoying the week and enjoying the game and making the most of this weekend. But our long-term development is about developing what wasn't quite right in those 6 weeks. You know, realise what was good and enjoy that, but also work on what we need to make better to turn those narrow ones into wins. And that's what we've been focused on with the players. And to be fair, I've got to give the players great credit for the hard work they put in these last 3 or 4 weeks, because we've hit them very hard. We've hit them hard with how we expect them to train, how we expect them to behave on and off the pitch and around the pitch. And this is with a team where we haven't really got any issues. It's not so much about we want to change the culture here. We want to use our culture as a foundation for us taking the next step. And that's the biggest step for us, I think. I think being comfortable in the Premiership and competitive in the Premiership is something we're quite easy with now, and we feel quite nice about. It's going to take a little jolt to knock us on a bit, but as I said, that relies hugely on the players taking that on board and wanting to get the hard work done and demanding a lot of themselves and each other. And as I say, I've got to give them great credit, because I think as a team we're actually thriving on it.
The quirky nature of the competition this year means that you're actually playing a final on home soil, which must be helpful in some way.
Well, it's got to be, hasn't it? To say that it's not nice to be playing at home in a cup final is a ridiculous thing to say. It's fantastic. As I say, the fact that we were lucky enough to have got our home changing room as well is a nice little bonus, because that would have been strange, to be fair. But I think what we've got to do, and it's the same when we play at home here in the Premiership or in any competition, we've got to make sure we play in a way that gets the crowd behind us, because it should be a partisan crowd. Northampton will bring a good crowd, they always do. But we should be able to do something that gets the crowd behind us and makes it a really special occasion.
Team-wise, you've had to tweak slightly because of injuries, and obviously the good news is that James Hanks is on the mend and come out of hospital, but you've had to tweak slightly.
Yeah, not too many. We're pretty strong. The squad's very similar to last week. Like everybody, we get bumps and bruises every week. Obviously, Hanksy was the big one, a relatively major injury, and one that I think was very scary for him at the time, kind of unrightly so. But he's out of hospital now, and he'll be a little while in recovery. But all the early signs are that he'll make a full recovery from it. And I think for us now, it's about him and us concentrating on just looking forward to welcoming him back at the start of next season. And
some of the guys you are going to bring in are experienced teams. They're guys that can handle with the big occasion.
Yeah, that's right. As I said, it's a strong squad of players. We've never made any excuses as we've gone along. Whichever team we put out in a Premiership game or any game we play is an Exeter team that we're proud of, and we expect to play very well. And I'm quite excited by the team we've got available and the group of players we've got available. And I know they'll all come out here and do what we want them to do, which is just give it everything for 80 minutes.
In terms of going back a few years to sort of 2010 and that Bristol final, do you use the sort of preparations that perhaps you used then?
No, to me it's complete. To me it's very different. I think that was very much about shifting to a double leg and the tactics you need to use in a 2-leg final. Obviously there were evening kick-offs, which is very unusual for us back then. Playing in the Championship, midweek games, there was quite a lot we had to shift to actually get ourselves in the run-up to those finals feeling comfortable. This is slightly different. We had a big game against Bath. You don't really know. There's not a lot of point preparing past the semi-final. But I think what has been good for us is it was a Sunday semi-final, so we've managed to roll into a Sunday to Sunday week, which is nice. If anything, what we've tried to keep to is a standard week, which we know we perform well on, and we've prepared very much as if it was a Premiership game. But what we're talking about a little bit more is that it is a one-off and it's exciting. It's at home. There's lots of little motivators for us that should just add that little bit of edge. So, as I say, we haven't tweaked too much. We played Northampton relatively recently. Their squad will be very similar. So I imagine they're in very much the same boat. Is that they'll kind of know what we're going to bring. We kind of think we know what they'll bring. And as I say, it's probably going to be you can add a little bit of 5 or 10% on the day from the last performance for win, because it was a very close game.